Alright boys, today I'm having a proper big bro moment. I'm going to talk to you guys about what I'd consider to be one of my only real physical insecurities. So as a lot of you guys know, I used to look like this. I was fat, okay? One thing that you guys don't know, during my teen years I actually went to an all-boys grammar school. Now that sounds cool and everything until you understand that boys, they're dicks. They are actually dickheads. Young teen boys always find a way to try and one-up each other. It's a pool of raging hormones and testosterone, and it's just not the nicest environment to be in during your school teen years. So where am I going with this? Fat, kinda ugly, bad hairstyle, bad body composition, bad everything. George, back in his teenage years, would get changed in the changing rooms. And there was one thing that people would pick on me for. And that one thing was already in my head from before being picked on. But it really stuck with me, man. And it is the one thing that to this day still bothers me. That one thing is called Gynecomastia or Gyno. And for all of you guys who are lucky enough to not have to know what that is, it's basically man boobs. So I actually made quite a few videos on this channel where I have been topless. I even have an accountability playlist on my channel where I post every single week my progress of my physique, and nobody has ever mentioned it. And that's because it's barely noticeable. And this one insecurity is quite literally something that nobody ever talks about. Nobody ever notices. It purely just affects me, which is kind of the only opinion that actually matters. But yeah, when I say man boobs, you can have man boobs for different reasons, right? You can have man boobs because you're just overweight, which luckily isn't the case for me anymore. Or you can have man boobs because you have a literal gland in your chest, which can be caused by hormones during puberty, which was my experience due to my probably poor eating habits and my just imbalance of hormones as a teenager. You can also get the same exact thing from using steroids, which I haven't done, but a lot of people who do use steroids also mess with their hormones and cause themselves to grow some sort of gland tissue in their chest. So how can you get rid of it? If it's just man boobs caused by fat, it's a pretty simple solution. You just have to lose some weight. And I've been there, I've done that years ago. I've lost all that weight. I would not say I have any sort of excess fat on my chest, almost none at all. I pretty much only feel muscle in my chest because, you know, I've been working out. I'm not like huge or anything, but it's mostly muscle except for the gland, which you can't get rid of without surgery. Or so they say. So why am I actually making this video? Well, basically guys, most of you probably don't need to watch this video unless you want to hear about like a different take on insecurities. For the most part, I'm making this video because I know for myself, I would have loved to see a video like this when I was in my teens, because it really did affect me, and there's not that many guys talking about it because it's one of those really embarrassing things that people don't really like talking about. I'm quite lucky. Mine is pretty unnoticeable, but some people have it bad, and I really feel for those people, and I'm just gonna be here, like I said, as a big bro, talking about my own experience and hopefully helping somebody out there because it is more common than you think. And yeah, that is the main reason I'm making this video. I'm planning to get rid of it for a couple of reasons, but the main reason is because I hate that idea of there's so many things about your body that you can just fix if you work hard. I love the idea of being able to fix problems by working hard, right? I can, if I'm not happy with my body composition, I can eat healthy, I can go to the gym, I can fix that. But I am completely optionless when it comes to just fixing gyno, right? So I hate the feeling of not having really any choice in the matter. I have this ideal image in my head of how I want my body to be one day, and that is not part of it, and there's nothing I can do, no matter how hard I work, to fix that, right? So that's number one. Number two is I enjoy fashion. And unfortunately, the one time that I personally can actually tell that there's gyno is when I'm wearing a t-shirt. You have like pokey nipples. It doesn't really have that flat chest look, which I personally hate. Well, let me see if you can actually see it right now. Yeah, see, look, it's a tiny bit there, and I just do not like that. It's just like, it doesn't need to be there. It's really not that bad, but it's just not ideal, you know? So that's another reason. It just doesn't make me feel as comfortable as I want to be in my clothing, and I really want to explore fashion more, but it holds me back because there's certain materials and certain types of clothes which I'm just like, you know, it just doesn't look how I want it to look, you know what I mean? And number 3 is I think it's just been something that's been bothering me since my teens. It's one of those like leftover things that I just haven't dealt with, and I just kind of want to do it for myself, you know? Do it for old George, who probably really wished he could have got it done back then. Still kind of lingers in my mind. I just want to get it done. But am I going to do the surgery? Maybe. Anytime soon? Definitely not. So if I'm not going to do the surgery, then how am I planning on getting rid of it? And the reality of the situation is, what I'm about to talk about probably won't work, and I have zero expectations of it working. But there is anecdotal evidence out there that there's another way that isn't surgery, and of course it's to do with drugs. I actually found this information out from More Plates, More Dates, which is a channel I really enjoy watching. He talks a lot about gym and biochem, just all this interesting biohacking stuff. I really like his content, and he kind of touched on this, so I've done my own research since, but I will be following his protocol. The drug in question is Raloxifene, and I have a healthy amount of it. Without getting into too much detail, because this isn't really a channel where I talk about science behind stuff, I'm going to take 60 milligrams of Raloxifene every single day for 10 days, followed by 30 grams a day until it's pretty much reversed or I give up. As I'm nearing the end, I'm going to taper it down to 15 milligrams so that I don't get a rebound effect when I come off of it. It's also really recommended that you take 500 milligrams of calcium to combat some of the side effects. This one actually also includes 200 IU of vitamin D, but you should also be taking 5,000 IU of vitamin D. I've got the 200 with the calcium, and I've got 4,000 here separately. Doesn't quite make 5,000, but I do get some vitamin D from other sources, such as my healthy diet. So I am really hoping that I don't get any side effects. Most people seem to not get side effects, but occasionally you do hear people talk about, I had to get off of it because of the side effects. We shall see. Today is day 1 of taking Raloxifene. Wish me luck. Let's see how it goes. The reality is, guys, I have zero expectations of this actually working. The good news is it's quite cheap, and compared to surgery, I'd much rather give it a try, just with the little chance of it doing something. It's never stopped me from getting girls. It's never stopped me from like feeling confident in public. People have never commented on it other than back in school in the boys' locker room when I was fat, to be fair. The one thing that does annoy me is it doesn't matter how hard I work on my chest. I feel like the leaner I get, the more obvious it is that it's gyno rather than just, I don't know, I need to lose a bit of weight. If it's really not that big of a deal and nobody cares, then why do you care? I don't know, I just do. It's one of those things, guys. But yeah, hopefully me talking about this has helped any of you guys out there who have the same problem. For anybody out there who thinks it's funny to joke about gyno, it is kind of funny to joke about gyno, but do realize some people out there find it pretty damn humiliating. I'm kind of over it at this point. You can be mean to me in the comments if you want, because I genuinely am over it at this point. I do know how it used to affect me, so like maybe be nice to people in the comments in case somebody's saying they're going through the same thing. Let me know if you want any updates about how the Raloxifene goes. If it actually does work, I may or may not make an update video in the future, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it was helpful to some of you out there, and peace. Alright, so I don't want to see any it's a bit sus comments in the comment section. This is what gyno looks like, and if you don't want to see it, then please click away from the video. Giving you a warning. So 3, 2, 1. So as you can see, it's like a slight cone shape. It doesn't look atrocious, but when you lift your arm, you can see it should be flat, and it's not. And this is all muscle. It's hard, hard, hard until you touch the gland, the tissue, and it's squishy. You can literally feel the tissue. It's like a little ball. And yeah, so it's kind of gross, but that's it, guys.